Hello and welcome back to Yorkshire Railways, and welcome to a special video. So today we're actually going to Key Model World Live 2025. However, in the excitement of getting there and it was a little bit busy, I forgot to film an intro to this video. So here we are back in the shed. So what we'll do is we'll cut now to the footage I've taken from Key Model World Live, as well as a few sort of exclusive on the Class 89 from Accurascale, filmed to me very thankfully from Richard at New Junction and Accurascale. Filmed it for me whilst I had a play around with the Class 89, so that's really exciting. So stay tuned for that. I'll put that in towards the end of the video and then we'll come back for a recap. So yeah, hope you enjoy the video and I will catch you later on.
Inside of that building, so the train is behind it. Okay, out the window looking at the train, and then you get something in your eye that
sorry, I'm just trying to look at find a loco is.
There's a story. Obviously, to be
Elliot, I think it's going to attach to them house.
Really long day at school. We used to be just outside the station.
Always, if you don't know this, COVID except with that guy that's in that if you still can't get anywhere, say get a drop through the technical services email address. Email or call, get in touch with us.
What's up, Paul?
I did that driving course with a lot of
Yeah, because of the crack of dawn.
well, we said to by then, I think we got there about 2 Well, you're very nice at the job. 1,200 miles to gallon. Incredible. So it's an exact copy, isn't it? There are 3 main structures, and you've been, haven't you? So you've been. This is old gauge, and is it, or is it a different gauge? Is it like old gauge?
Similar, it's Lego size. I don't
Is it
actually...
all made of Lego?
Yeah.
Amazing, isn't it? Look at that one. Double-header. Well, they used to be the southern colours, didn't they, of green? The one in Roma, Lego man, I don't know why they dismantled it. I think they sold the site now, the house price. Land was very expensive.
Yes, these two are ones that were just broken.
Like huge batteries and charge more. Are there any that have solar panels? Just a few about the countryside. Actually built to the
Can't get the stuff. Wi-Fi. Got a short, no power to it, right? It's still a short.
Port Handsworth, that road at the old fire station. You pass that and it's on the left hand side and you should traffic lights. Well after Sheffield. Lance, I think it means country street.
BLS. I think it says on that magazine GL. The DCC box is right getting lots of touch. It's only got a couple of hours left.
Yeah, I mean, you know, we're more pointed if we bring one person to start.
They go on the to the Isle of Wight. They go on the little ferry. And then they run here.
Yeah, I think that's how it works. It's got like a track underneath. You know when Tom's finished in Barnsley?
No idea. A long time before me. I know, yes. I know. What's that? Well, I went to the toilet.
The biggest employer in Rugby.
HST.
I've seen the Queen Street.
Yeah, you can talk. Oh, I don't know how to walk around it.
going to walk around in a minute.
Whatever the day. Rob's made them the turbo. Rob's made them the regular.
We've got a lot more than that. We've got all of them run there. Oh, that's a Jaguar. Oh, yeah. Well, I'm still making them. Yeah, turn out a few hundred each. Yeah.
Well, it's good anyway.
When you go into it, you can lose that bit and do it like that. You just want it. Yeah, I do. You've got one of those.
And out fire driving lessons.
Someone's had a car accident.
Alright, yeah. And the instant take the test.
I know where that is. It's a nice venue. It's a really nice venue. Yeah, it is lovely. Well, having said that, I might have seen this layout before at Stafford Model Railway Show. That's it, been at Stafford before. So actually, that's the Armstrong now.
If it was a nice afternoon, like you used to get them on the front. We used to do surveys of traffic and take them out for a couple of hours. And then we vans, trucks, different types of cars, and draw all these graphs. Great. Asking if they still got the books, they got all the back officers and books. Colours, whereas with all these, I mean, I suppose it was a bit of a mindless occupation. Got books, pages and pages of engines on those.
Say word.
Thank you very much, Richard, for letting me hold your Intercity Class 89. Can you tell me when they're coming?
They will be probably 6 to 8 weeks away.
6 weeks, really? Wow.
Pending shipping and customs.
Because customs is the big thing, it'll take about 3 weeks to go through that. This is incredible. So what features does it have again?
Blimey, the 89 has working pantographs. You've got 2 speakers, 21 pin DCC fitted, ready to go, stay alive plasters, so all the goodies. It really is up to the modern standards of the Accurascale logos often.
And just a one-off.
Just a one, in real life, just a one-off, yeah. But between us and Rails of Sheffield, we've partnered to do this.
So I take it it's probably only going to be one run of them.
Possibly. It's the sort of thing there is only going to be one run of. That's why all the boxes are special boxes.
That's cool. That is cool. So, but yeah, is this the present day version?
Yes. I would say as it is now, and as it is right behind you.
Even better. See, it's like your time now. Yeah, so this is what I've actually got for, so, which is nice. Full sound fitted model. So yeah, it's. I'm very much looking forward to it.
It'll be very nice. Working pantograph, I can't remember if I said that.
Yeah.
I probably said that first.
Yeah, that's the biggest feature of it, really, isn't it? Yeah, it's cool working
It's a beast.
It is a beast, and very heavy. I'm having a lot to keep it up. But I think before I drop it, I will give it you back to put away nice and safely.
There you go.
Thank you very much.
It's my pleasure.
Okay, so it's actually the Monday that I'm recording this after the weekend, so it's been a pretty busy weekend for me, to say the least. So I got down to Key Model World at roughly about 10:30. I think it was just after 10:30. So not long after opening doors, and I was there for so long that we were actually there for closing when the announcement came to kick us all out. So yeah, really had a great time chatting with everybody, and thank you to those of you that actually came up and said hello. That was really nice to meet some of you. So yeah, if you ever see me out and about, whether that be at a show or at a model shop, it's usually Rails of Sheffield. But yeah, if you see me out and about, don't hesitate. Just come and say hello. I love meeting you. So yeah, it's absolutely fantastic. So yeah, I think we'll start off with the biggest elephant in the room, and I'm not going to go too much into detail because I'm going to save this for a separate video. But as you've probably seen running behind me, we've got the Accurascale Class 60, which should be just coming into frame just now. So as some of you know, I have had a little bit of a issue with my Class 60, as a few others have as well, but I still thought something was wrong with mine when it was returned from Key Model World when I sent it back originally. I'd been going, I'm trying to think when it came back now, but it'd been backwards and forwards for a good few months from Key Model World, and it wasn't that they weren't helpful, it was just that it was very slow replies. Anyway, I added that in a recent video that I did that I was a little bit frustrated by the process. I know it will get fixed, but I'm a little bit frustrated by it all. I just want my model to work. That's when Cav reached out for a comment space and said, get in touch with us direct, we'll sort it out. By all means, I've had absolutely brilliant customer service. I sent them an email. It was backwards forwards for a day or two, and they said bring it down to the show with you if you're coming, and we'll take a look at it whilst you go around the event. So that is what I did, and it actually turns out that the wheel sets were already changed. That wasn't the issue with the running. Mine was that it was making a horrific noise, and I thought it was something related to the motor or the gearing, and that it was basically eating itself alive by what it sounded like anyway. And it turns out that the issue was very simple. It was just that the circuit board is vibrating against the motor, essentially. So a couple of screws sorted it out. That's all that it needed. It's an issue that was highlighted after it was released, and has apparently since therefore been fixed for run 2. So yeah, that's good to see. But yeah, I can't thank Cav and Alex enough. They were very, very gracious, and definitely, you know, they helped me out a million times, and as you can see, it's working perfectly. I will get into a bit more with a separate video in terms of what to look out for, but yeah, it's working. So yes, very, very happy with that. In terms of purchases, can't go to a show and not purchase anything, but I have picked myself up a Alex wagon. I haven't even taken it out of the box yet, but this is a BBA wagon. So yeah, really, really looking forward to unboxing that very, very soon. We'll make a nice addition to the steel carrier fleet, ready for when my Accurascale model, the Class 6D, turns up. So yeah, that'll be quite nice. That'll be up to 5 wagons now. So yeah, looking forward to that. Right, well, let's get on to thoughts on the actual show itself. So as I say, I was there from just after 10:30, and I was kicked out at 5 o'clock. It was that busy. Certainly talking to everybody. You know, I had a really, really good chat with Richard at Accurascale, as well as I think is it Steve at Accurascale as well. Yeah, really, really good chats there. As well as then along came Phil from the PGM Models, as well as obviously his work on Pete Waterman's making tracks. Ended up talking to him for a while, who was trying to incite me into stealing the Accurascale models, because he said, "Oh, I've only got to outrun Richard." So yes, I didn't steal any models, as tempting as it was, but yes, had some really, really good chats with everybody. Chat to Pete as well for a short time, and yeah, a few of obviously you fellow modelers out there that came and said hello. So yeah, that was great. I'm going to go on thoughts from last year's to this year's, because I went for 2024 as well. I honestly thought that this year was actually better in a way. I think there was a little bit less in terms of the model rail aspect, or it might have seemed less just because the rest of the modelling community was certainly, there was a lot more to it. So we had a bit from Scalextrics this time, still a lot from, you know, the static like Airfix kit build models, remote controlled stuff, as well as obviously the model train side of things. So I think it was definitely a lot more well-rounded this time. But that being said, I don't think it was lacking in model railways. Certainly I think in terms of exhibits, I think there was a lot more model railways this time round than there was last time, as strange as that sounds. I think last year's was mainly focused on making tracks and obviously the world record breaking layout, which was incredible. But I think because it was a bit scaled back and it was just making tracks 4 this time, which by no means, you know, it is a feat to behold. You know, you sort of have to see it in person to really get the scale of it. But I think that allowed in some aspects for other layouts to shine. My personal favourite, oh, just bear with me. There we go, sorry about that. Quick cut in the filming, so the Class 60 just went over the points that aren't pinned down, and it is a bit wobbly over there. So yes, it's unfortunately derailed, but not an issue with the model. It's my track work with that. So yes, I've just switched off the power and we'll leave it static for now. But anyway, my favourite layout that was there was actually one, I've got it written down here. So it was called Door Hill St Stephen's, and it was an absolutely fantastic layout. So it was viewable from all 4 sides, which is incredible in its own. It was absolutely huge. I believe it was something like 40 foot by 15 feet long. So yeah, really, really substantial layout. But not only that, it was almost in like a figure of 8 shape. So it had obviously the main track going round the outside, but then had sort of like a cut through the middle, which really I never thought about it in terms of a layout build, but you know, added so much depth to not only the scene but like the playability of trains, and it's really given me a thought for the new build that will be happening at some point. Yeah, it's really got the cogs working in how I can incorporate something like that into my own layout. But it was absolutely fantastic. So it's based on South Yorkshire to sort of like Nottingham way, in terms of trains through the 1960s, so that both steam and diesels can be run of their appropriate era, as well as a wide range of livery options for them to pick from. So yeah, it was an absolutely fantastic scene. I took loads of footage from it just because of the sheer scale of it, as well as obviously there was the really large O gauge TMD layout. That was a fantastic scale layout. I'm not sure in terms of how wide it is at its widest section, but certainly it was a you won't want a derailment in the middle, put it that way. I'd say the making tracks layout obviously is always the highlight. It's great to see the team from there and the work that they've put in such a short space of time. From when I first witnessed that particular part of the layout, so making tracks 4, I think it was at last year's, but it was basically just the station, and then from its iteration then to Milton Keynes, where they started building some of the flats, it was even more incredible. And then this time round it's grown again, and it's absolutely breathtaking, the amount of detail that goes into that. And certainly obviously Phil is a master of building construction. It's absolutely incredible what he's managed to design for that layout. So yeah, hats off to you all over at Making Tracks. It's certainly definitely pushing the boundaries in terms of what can be achieved in this modern era of model railways. I'm going through other layouts that I've seen. So yeah, there was a really lovely little Swiss layout. That was a nice one. It was in N gauge. It was just a simple loop, but that was a really nice layout. I'd say one that really stands out for me was the Knaresborough layout with the viaduct. That is probably one of the most detailed layouts. Although it was small, it was so incredibly detailed, and the craftsmanship that has gone into creating the bridge. There was a part, well, it's not just this layout, but there was a few layouts where if you sort of position the camera to a certain degree where you couldn't see beyond the back scene and sort of at the front where there was, you know, either sort of a curtain or something like that, there were a lot of layouts, and this one, the model of Knaresborough, definitely captured that, is that because you can sort of tell obviously the people are static in there, but it was very hard to tell, looking back at some of the footage, what was a model locomotive and what wasn't real. And that is a real achievement, I think, in terms of what everybody in terms of modelling wants to try and achieve, is that sort of notion that if you filmed your trains going along, and I'd say it's a lot easier with the diesels than it is with the steam, but you know, obviously with the new technology from Hornby coming along, that's getting a little bit more realistic. But yeah, being able to capture an image that looks so realistic is a real achievement. So yeah, hats off to the exhibitionists at Key Model World this year. You know, it's definitely taken that step to how good a layout can be. And I'll be honest, I think some of these layouts are going to be tough to beat for my overall favourites. I have a collection sort of in my mind of what layouts I've seen, and you know, definitely Door Hill St Stephen's, that's one of the top ones, but certainly the Knaresborough one is. And I can never remember the name, but from last year's Great Electric Train Show, the autumn depots seen at I think it's Crew Depot. They're sort of my top 3 that I've seen over the last year. Definitely, it's stepping up modelling expectations 100%. Obviously, yeah, in terms of announcements over sort of this last week, we've had Bachmann come out with a new Class 66 tooling, which I'm a bit on the fence with. I certainly think it incites, you know, obviously the old duplication again, which again, duplication, it's a tough one because people are on the fence about duplication as a whole. You know, you think, oh, why do we need a new one when we've already got a very good one in the form of the Hatton's now Accurascale Class 66. I think that is a very high ball to hit, but certainly Bachmann's thought that theirs now needs an upgrade, which I think from a lot of people that the Bachmann one was a good rendition. I think if anything the Hornby one needs a newer one, but certainly they seem to be making good use of it. But yeah, it's got obviously the new Bachmann features. It obviously will feature 21-pin decoder socket, as well as, you know, the full lighting and tooling variations between each of the sort of subclasses, as well as the Bachmann auto uncoupler in one of the versions as well. So yeah, the uncoupler, it's a bit of a patchy topic, is probably the best way of saying it. I've seen a lot of people, you know, think it was great to start with, but having tested it, found, yeah, it's not the most practical thing. It either doesn't work or it works, and it all depends on the type of wagon. It doesn't necessarily have to be a Bachmann wagon, it can be any, but it'll either work or it just doesn't, which is a bit frustrating really, because the whole point of it is you want to be able to uncouple without having to touch it, and if you've got to intervene 50%, 90% of the time, what's the point? What are you actually paying for? But hopefully it is one of those technologies, it seems like Bachmann is sticking with it, so hopefully they can keep perfecting it over time. So yeah, we'll see how the Bachmann's comes out when it releases. I'll not get too much into prices or anything, or release dates, but yeah, that's one of them. Another one was the Hornby Saint class. They had the tooling sample there. That does look fantastic. I believe it is something I did actually miss out of getting a close-up of, simply just because it was crowded around at the time when I sort of went nearby. So yeah, but it does look fantastic. You know, there's a lot of die cast in it. It's certainly going to be one of those models to get hold of, 100%, especially if you're a Great Western modeler. Yeah, let's think now. Helgen, I didn't spend too much time at the Helgen stand. I don't think I've got any footage to show, but again, obviously they've got the new, I think is it the Class 153, it's DMU anyway, the single car DMU. From what I've seen of those, they do look really good, and certainly for the lighting package on them, I think that's going to be a fantastic model, especially for the DCC community. Accurascale wise, yeah, I spent a lot of time at the Accurascale stands. There you've got so many models on the way. Obviously I did a video recapping that, but obviously you will have seen now my exclusive on the Class 89. I say exclusive, I mean anyone could sort of talk about it, but Richard was very kind enough to get it out of the locker for me to hold. I can say they are very heavy, and the model that I actually picked up didn't have any of the motors or anything inside it. It was just purely the chassis, so I thought, blimey, you know, it feels a good weight already. So by the time all that's added, because obviously it's going to have the 2 motors, one for the pantograph, one for the actual model to function. So yeah, it's going to be a beast, all right, and they are due sometime in June, if all goes well. And from what Richard was telling me, it's going to be a busy time, because literally from the moment that the Class 50 lands, weeks will go by, and we'll have the Class 89 and the Class 60 all in one go. So yeah, the middle of the year is going to be very busy, 100%. It's so much so I'm going to be very busy as well, because I have a Class 89 on the way. I've gone for the one that I actually held in my hand, so that is the present day version, which looks absolutely stunning in the Intercity Swallow. It's not a livery that I have in the collection, which is one particular reason why I wanted that one. Second reason was because it's the present day version, and I'm sort of thinking a bit, refraining a little bit more about what I'm actually collecting as part of my collection for my layout, but it gives me a bit more of a real life aspect of what we'll be running, and certainly fits into the modern day era, so I can run that on my layout without it looking strange. I've got a Class 50 on the way as well in the Hanson and Hall livery, the Thunderer. So that's a great livery again, you know, one of those, it's a heritage locomotive, but obviously does run on the main line, so that's another excuse why I went for that one, as well as the name. Class 50 names are just cool, and it was really hard to pick between like the ones that I wanted. Is it Defender? I think that's the other one, the BR Blue large logo. It was between that, or is it Avenger, something like that, I can't remember off the top of my head. But yeah, Thunderer stuck with me. I thought that is a cool name, and you know, the liveries, again, it's a unique livery, something that I don't have in my collection, so that's the one I've gone for. And then we have the Class 60. It's obviously to rival the Cavalex version. Accurascale are bringing out theirs later on in the year, and I have gone for the Rails of Sheffield exclusive, which is the Teesside Express, which is in the I think it's EWS livery, but it's in a special British Steel blue livery, so it's a really nice light blue. It's a fantastic looking locomotive. I did get a little bit of a long shot in the video, so you will have seen that further on back around the Accurascale stand. But yeah, it's a fantastic looking loco, and yeah, I really can't wait to get hold of mine and give it a test. So obviously, yeah, we'll be doing a comparison video between the Cavalex and the Accurascale when it comes out. I don't know if in time I will have a Hornby version, but we'll see. You know, I've seen a lot of secondhand ones popping up, so I might not get a brand new one, but certainly it's obviously the same tooling, so I'll be able to have a look and see what I can get hold of. But yeah, making no promises on that. We're going through more Accurascale locos here, but yeah, obviously I got to see the new Hunza Austerities. They look absolutely incredible. I don't even think the pictures can do them justice of how nice they look in the flesh. And the same goes for the buck jumpers as well. And again, I was like, I really wanted one, but I haven't got the budget to go for a buck jumper. But I imagine I'll probably get one in the second run at some point if they do one. If not, it is something unfortunately I will have to miss out on. But they both look fantastic, and it's really given me food for thought on which austerity I'd like to go for, because it's not made the decision process any easier seeing them in person. I can tell you that. First I was wanting the National Coal Board version with the curved cab ends, just because I thought that's a cool tooling variant. I thought that looks really, really nice. But then obviously I saw the LNER version in the sort of sandy khaki colour. That looks incredible. And then which other one did I see? I think it was just a one of the like BR green ones or something like that. But they look fantastic, and I'm still not sold on the clear couplings. I will say that. I've seen them in person now. I'm still not sold on them. I don't think they've solved the issue with the invisible couplings. It's, if anything, I think it's more because it was in a display cabinet, and I think this is the issue with it. The display cabinets have obviously got very bright lighting to highlight absolutely every inch of detail on those models. I think the downside of that, the way that the light refracts through the coupling, just made it look like it wasn't translucent enough. It almost looked white. and that's probably what the issue was. But yeah, until I see it in person, like in my own layout, I'm not sold on it. But again, you can't knock them for trying something new. And again, it is something that is going to have the traditional black couplings. They will be in the box as well. So yeah, you have that choice if you want to swap them out. But I think for now, the way I'm leaning to is I probably would just swap them for the black ones. But yeah, I mean, if anything, really, that is probably everything I have to talk about. I did briefly look at the Electro Star. Again, it was one of those that I didn't manage to capture any footage of it just because everybody was crowding around it. But without, you know, trying to pee off any of the Electro Star fans, it's not my cup of tea and nothing to do with the region that I'm modelling, so I don't really care about it, unfortunately. But, you know, it did look a very, very nice model, I will say that. But yeah, other than that, I don't really have anything else to chat about. So again, thank you to all those that came up and said hello at the show. It was a pleasure to meet you all. You know, I am terrible with names, so you know, I'm not going to start reading off who I met. But again, say hello to me more often, and I will eventually pick up who's who. Again, thank you to Richard for letting me hold the class 89 and get that little bit of information from yourself, and thank you for filming. That was really, really kind of you. And yeah, again, thank you for chatting. And yeah, that is all from me today from the Shed and Key Model World Live 2025. So what I want to know in the comments down below, have you been over this weekend? What day did you go on, and did you pick up any nice goodies? That's all I want to know, really. As well as who else did you manage to chat to? Any of these sort of other YouTube, I'm not going to say celebrities because I'm not, but did you find any other YouTubers out there other than obviously Richard at New Junction? I'll be honest, I didn't see anybody other than Richard in terms of other YouTubers, but I know from pictures that there were some knocking around. Just obviously missed them, or I was probably filming something at the time. But yeah, that is all I have from the video today. So I hope you have enjoyed it, and thank you for bearing with me on my little ramble here. But yes, thank you very much. If you have, don't forget to hit the thumbs up button and hit the subscribe button if you haven't subscribed already. Also, we have an exciting year ahead of us, as well as a update on the Class 60 from Cavalix as well. So yeah, exciting times ahead. And again, drop a comment as well, and I will catch you in the next video. So take care, everyone. Bye bye.